Hello, everybody, and welcome to our next session in our webinars where we introduce Eötvös Loránd University and our training programs to you. And today we are going to talk about the Chemistry Master's Program and the Hevesy György Doctoral School of Eötvös Loránd University, or as we call it in short, ELTE, which is the Hungarian abbreviation of the name of the university. First up, I am going to introduce our presenters who are here with us today. We have Professor Attila Csásár, who is the head of the Doctoral School of Chemistry, and we also have Professor István Szalai, who is the director of the Chemistry Institute, and we have Maria, who is a student of the PhD School of Chemistry. And my name is Eötvös, and I am an international coordinator of the Faculty of Science. Then we will have a short introduction of ELTE and the Faculty of Science, and then an in-depth introduction of the Chemistry Master's Program by Professor István Szalai and the Doctoral School by Professor Csásár Attila. And after this, Maria will also talk about her experience here at ELTE. You can ask your questions during the webinar by typing them in the chat, and we will answer them during the presentations. And if there is any question that you don't receive an answer to, don't worry, we will contact you afterwards in an email and answer your question as well. So, let me just talk a bit about Eötvös Loránd University. ELTE has a really long past in Hungary. Actually, it is one of the oldest universities. It was founded in the 1600s, and it has been around for quite some time now. Originally, it consisted of the Faculty of Theology and the Faculty of Humanities. The Faculty of Theology no longer exists, but the Faculty of Humanities still does. Currently, there are 8 faculties. You can see this time line where there are all of the faculties and when they were established. Most of them were established pretty recently, but it doesn't mean that they don't have a long past as well. They just became independent and their own faculties over the years. ELTE is one of the most prominent universities of Hungary. It is among the top currently. And it was awarded the title Research University in 2010, which means that it participates in research in many areas and is a prominent institution to take a place in research as well. In 2013, it was awarded the title University of Excellence, which is a title given by the Hungarian government for the prominent universities who are partaking both in training and in research as well. ELTE has over 100 study programs in foreign languages and over 3,500 international students. The Faculty of Science was founded in 1949, and before that, natural science was part of the Faculty of Humanities, so it existed before that, but it didn't have its own independent faculty until 1949. Currently, the Faculty of Science is located at the scenic bank of the Danube since 2001. This place is called the Lágymányos Campus, and we share these buildings with 2 other faculties, the Faculty of Social Sciences and the Faculty of Informatics. There are 5 institutes which make up the Faculty of Science: the Institute of Biology, Chemistry, geography and earth science, mathematics, and physics. And we also have 6 doctoral schools: biology, chemistry, environmental science, earth science, mathematics, and physics. As you can see, these cover most of natural science, so many of the disciplines are represented here at the faculty. Currently, we have over 300 international students, which is a big part of university life here. On this slide, you can see our degree programs that are available in English currently. There are many of them. All institutes have available programs in English. One of these is chemistry that we will talk a little bit more about today. And I won't read all of them, but so the Faculty of Science has top mathematicians and even Nobel Prize winners among its alumni and staff. In the area of physics, it was ranked in the top 100 and 150 on the academic ranking of world universities, and also in the excellence group in the excellence rankings in 2013. Faculty of Science has well-equipped laboratories for research in natural science. This goes for all the disciplines, chemistry, biology, and everything. Also, there are many well-esteemed researchers who are also members of the Hungarian Academy of Sciences, which is the most prominent research establishment of Hungary. And most of our professors also doing research while also teaching here. So that's a big part of the life of the faculty. Theory and practice is also very prominent in course outlines. There are lectures, seminars, and practices, and laboratory works, as well as field works. So there's lots of theory and practice simultaneously. To study here, there are some options available for funding. As self-financed students, the tuition fee is 4,190 euros per semester. This goes for all master's programs, and between 3,000 and 5,000 euros for PhD students. There are some available scholarship programs, such as the Stipendium Hungaricum or the Diaspora Scholarship. You can find more information about these on ELTE's website as well. So I will talk a bit more about how to apply to our programs. And as you can see here, you will need to apply on the application platform of ELTE, which can be found at apply.elte.hu. You have to click the Sign In or Register button in the upper right corner, and then choose I am a new applicant. After typing in your email address, you will receive a verification email that allows you to continue the process. Make sure that you use an email address that you check frequently, because this will be the main means of communication throughout the entire process. After this, you will have to fill in your personal details, add a photo of yourself, and upload the required documents that are needed for your application. The required documents can be found in ELTE's Degree Program Finder, which you can see on the slide. And you can find all of ELTE's available degree programs here, the requirements, and lots of specific information about them. I highly recommend checking it before submitting your application, because there is much information that you will need for your application here. To apply to the program, you need a bachelor's degree in chemistry or in a related field such as chemical engineering. You have to upload your bachelor's degree and academic transcripts. If your bachelor's degree is still in progress, but you will receive it this summer, it's not a problem. In this case, you can upload a certificate stating so, including the expected date of you receiving the degree certificate. This also goes for the PhD program. In that case, you need a master's degree in a related field to chemistry. And you can also do this and upload a provisional certificate of you finishing your studies soon. In this case, you should still upload your academic transcripts up until your latest finished semester. And you also have to upload an English language certificate, which has to be an internationally accredited language examination, or a document from your previous higher educational institution that you have completed either your bachelor's degree or your master's degree completely in English. The language examination has to be of at least a B2 CEFR level. You also have to upload a CV and a motivation letter. And it is also required that you upload the bank payment proof of the application fee before the deadline. For the PhD program, also a research proposal is required. You can upload any additional documents that you find related, such as conference attendance or publications, recommendation letters, but these aren't mandatory. Once you have submitted your application and the application period is over, then you will receive confirmation from us, and we will begin to evaluate the applications. If your uploaded documents fit the criteria, you will be notified of the entrance examination via email. For the master students, there is a written entrance examination, and for PhD students, there is an entrance interview. Once you pass the entrance examination, you will receive a confirmation from us and your letter of acceptance within 2 weeks. It will be sent to you through the application platform as well. Around this time, you will receive all necessary information about the enrollment, applying for a visa, life in Hungary, etc. In the meantime, I suggest checking out ELTE's website because you can find lots of useful information on it. You can also see on the slide that there are some links I have put on, and also my email address. So if you have any questions, do not hesitate to write an email. Do we have any questions? I can see. Oh, I see. Could you please tell me the minimum score or band requirement in IELTS or TOEFL exam to secure admission in ELTE? Yes, both of these can be converted to the CEFR level. Usually, both of these have the CEFR level on your certificate as well. But a quick Google search, for example, will tell you, but it's around 4.5 IELTS. Okay. I think we don't have any more questions, so I would like to ask Professor István Szalai to continue with this presentation.
Thank you, Eva. So, my name is István Szalai. I'm the director of the Institute of Chemistry, and it's really a pleasure for me to have this possibility to introduce our master program for you in a short while. Of course, I don't want to go to the details, but if you have any question, don't hesitate to ask me, and I will try to answer. And we also uploaded a link to a more detailed description of our actual program, so you can find some details in that PDF file. Just a few words about our institute. Previously, you could see that some parts of the history of the Eötvös University. I would say that the education in chemistry dates back to the 18th century. It has started in the medical faculty first, and then moved, of course, to the science, the Faculty of Science. Now, if you want to learn a little bit more about our institute, please visit our website at the chemistry.elte.hu. So, what is just a few words about the organization. we have 4 departments. The role of the department in our institute is to organize the teaching. So this is the main role of these 4 departments. The name they are entitled as inorganic, organic, analytical, and physical chemistry departments. We have also a large number of research laboratories. You will see that research and education it goes hand in hand, and we really believe that I will talk about later on. That we really believe that research is the best way for the education especially on master level, and even much more true for the PhD. But I'm actually focusing on master, so this is the best way. So as you enter to our master program, you have to learn this subject organized by the different departments, but you also immediately enter to the research of our institute, and you can join to one of these different research laboratories. I would say that they cover the most important fields of chemistry, so you can find research in analytical chemistry, in environmental science, in theoretical chemistry, and as well, of course, in organic chemistry and related to the pharmaceutical industry. So you have plenty of opportunities to do some interesting research, and you can start it immediately in your first semester. We have the PhD school. I don't want to talk about because the next speaker will introduce the PhD school in more detailed way. During even your master study, you have a possibility to go to visit our universities in Europe, or especially it's easiest in Europe. We have special programs to help you to find and to do some internship in different European universities, which have some connection with us. And also a very important part of our master program is an industrial internship. This is typically happens on the first summer. We really pushes our students to go to and to check how chemical research and development works in the industrial environment, because it's quite different from the what we can see in the university. So it's a very important experience, and we also help you to find some places in the big companies in the neighborhood, especially here in Budapest. So we have a very good relationship with the pharmaceutical companies and other one also. So that's very important. Of course, the full program, the full educational program of our institute is much broader than just the master program in chemistry. We have a bachelor chemistry program. This is only in Hungarian, and we have a very important program for the education of the next generation of the chemistry teachers. This is, of course, also in Hungarian. At the master level, we have a parallel. We have 2 master programs where the subjects and all the things are the same, but one is in Hungarian for those Hungarian students who prefer that, and we have a full English program for you and for those Hungarian students who are willing to study in English, which is, I believe, that the best way, since even if you want to do some academic research later on, or some development in the industry, all your work and all your reports and all your presentation will be in English. So that's the best way to study chemistry on the master level in English. If you don't want to go to this general chemistry master program, we have several other options. I don't want to talk about them, but I think other webinars are available to learn more. We have some material science master program. The Institute of Chemistry is also involved in this, and we have a biotechnology master program. It is also, we are involved in this program. And after master program, the best thing is to go to start the PhD school. I really believe that get well paid and successful in your life, it is very important to get a PhD. Not because you want to do really basic science or basic research, just to have this different abilities what you can learn during a PhD program. So the master program is just a training for, at least in my way of thinking, it's just a training for the PhD school. But this is a good training. So what you can do here, of course, as international students, you probably have very different background. You have very different education on the bachelor level, and especially it can be quite different from the one what we have here in our university. So we have some special courses just to help you to improve your background knowledge. It is your decision. You can choose one or other or more. If you have some difficulties in organic or physical chemistry or whatever, you can take these courses, and it helps you to prepare and to reach the level what we would like to have you at the master program. So this is just to help you. And here you can see the core structure of our master program. We try to minimize the number of compulsory courses in the program. Of course, we do need some compulsory courses, but we want to let you to choose your subject, and let you to choose your favorite courses. So there is one part which we call Foundation of Science, and there are several courses available in this block, and you have to choose at least courses that covers 8 credits altogether. This basically 2 courses or maybe 3. And there are these core chemistry courses which are compulsory. They covers the main areas of chemistry. This includes the industrial placement, internship, and we believe that if you perform these courses, then you are really ready to start your scientific or development work in academic field or industry. And then you have a very long list of specific courses where you can choose your favorite, and even you can create a mixture. You can test if you like physical chemistry or organic chemistry better. There are several courses, and you have to choose minimum 24 credits. Of course, laboratory practice is a very, very important part of a chemistry study. So we created a block of laboratory practices. So you must choose at least 3 different laboratory practices or 4 to fulfill the minimum requirements. And but it's again, it depends on your taste. If you want to go more preparative chemistry, you can choose those type of laboratories. But if you are more willing to do some theoretical work, it's also possible. And as this is general in the Hungarian educational system, that we have some credits, and especially in our cases, it's 12 credits, just that you choose what you want, even a subject which is not chemistry, or even a subject which is not in our universities. You can choose any kind of courses from the available that you can find in the neighborhood, in other universities or in other institutes. And finally, the thesis work, which is again a very important part. For the thesis work, you have 2 semesters, and we really want you to produce some research and some results which sounds interesting. It's very often that the students and of course the supervisors together finally can write even a publication about the thesis work. So this is again because we believe that the most important part of your master study is the research. So we are here. Among the other possibilities, when you choose your laboratory practices, there are special laboratory special choices, what we call guided research work and research project in chemistry. If you find a research group in our institute where you want to work a little bit more than just your thesis work, then you can start your real scientific research. Even at the beginning, you take these courses, which the guided research work, and you can start your real research even at the beginning of your master study. And if you go if to visit some other universities, for example, by the Erasmus program or other way, we have a special allocated way to bring back your credits, and we can count your credits from abroad in this mobility block. There is another view of our program. It's again it depends on your decision. We have some special subsets of different courses, and if you fulfill a subset of these courses, you can get a special, let's say, paper that tells you that you have some special knowledge on material science, analytical chemistry, drug research, structural chemistry, or synthetic chemistry. This means that when you choose your subject, when you choose your courses, you have to keep your eye on this list, and if you fulfill the requirements of this one of these subsets, what we call specializations, then you finally get an extra, let's say, an extra diploma for your study. So that's a way that you can specialize yourself in one field if you want. It is not necessary, but if you want, you can do it, and we of course help you in this case. So the spirit, which is important. So we believe that you need a solid background knowledge. This is why we have these core compulsory courses, and we have this special courses to help you if you have some weakness. But we believe that the best way is the research. So we want you to be involved in the scientific research from your first day until your last day in your education. We try to introduce special courses that would give you some useful skills, for example, communication science and whatever. These are important things because besides the knowledge in chemistry, you need this, nowadays it's called soft skills, if you want a successful career in your life. And we try to teach you these skills as well. And at the end, we try to help you to find your way after your diploma, which might be a PhD school here or in the university or in the industry or in an academic position. Our colleagues have a lot of connections in Hungary and in other universities and all around the world. And if you have some nice results in your research, in your thesis work, they are ready to help you to find a new, an interesting and nice position afterward. So I think I would like to finish, and I thank for your attention. And if you have any question right now, I'm very happy to answer immediately. But if you want to just think about it a little bit, then at the end of this webinar, we are also ready to answer for the questions. So don't hesitate to ask me. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. I think we have some questions. Yes, we already answered this one. Let's see. Could you talk more about the industrial placement and the internship?
As I told you that this is a compulsory part of our education. That means that you have to go and to spend at least 4 weeks, preferably in an industrial area, but you can do it also in a research institute if you really prefer it. But as I told you that we prefer the industrial way, and we have direct connections to the large companies here in Budapest, and typically what you need, like in an application for the master program, if you want to go and to have an industrial placement in a company, you have to send your CV and a motivational letter, and they will find you a place for this summer work, and you can learn the different things what we are not able to teach you here. I hope my answer can help you, but if you have further questions, don't hesitate. Interdisciplinary lectures. Okay. In the first block, I told you that we have this foundation of science subjects. I just want to read some titles, and you will see that we have a large number of interdisciplinary courses. So we have a course here which says that computers, electronics, and measurements, research and development in pharmaceutical industry, electromagnetic properties of materials, chemometrics. These are in this block, and later on you can also choose nanoscience and nanotechnology, nuclear chemistry, pharmaceutics. So we have a large number of courses which are really, let's say, interdisciplinary in this sense. Typically, of course, it's not very surprising. We have some connections into the direction of biology, and we have other courses typically in the direction of physics. But this is not surprising since chemistry is the central science, as we all know. So we are in the middle of everything. Other question?
Okay.
In which semester? This is after the second semester. So this is typically in the summer in between your 2 years. But in principle, you can do it in some other periods. But this is the typical. So most of our students, even in this period, which is difficult because not only the universities are closed, but the companies are also closed. But even in this year, many companies accept the application of our students for the industrial internship for this summer. So this is after the second semester. Okay. No, you don't need to select any specialization. This is just really a possibility. If you like it or if you are interested in, then you can choose, and you don't have to decide it at the beginning. This is just happens at the end of your study. If you have fulfilled the requirements of any specialization or even several specializations, just you have to present your credits, and we give you this special diploma for this. So, but this is your choice. Can I change that? Yes, because it's not official. I mean, in a sense, it's not official, but you don't have to say that I am doing this specialization. Just we have a list of courses, and if you follow it, then you fulfill the requirements at the end. If you see that something more interesting than what you have sought at the beginning, then you change. So you can change, of course.
All right.
No more. Thank you.
We are out of questions. So, Professor Attila Császár, please continue with your presentation.
Thank you very much, and I would like to welcome all listeners of this webinar. And I will present a few slides about the Doctoral School of our Institute of Chemistry. And I should add that this is a rather large institute. In our Institute of Chemistry, we have some 50 members, and it was a relatively large institute even a long time ago. and all the other institutes of natural science had some famous alumni. And here you can see 5 of them. And I'm showing you this slide because one of them, who received the 1943 Nobel Prize in Chemistry, was György Hevesy, or Georg Hevesy. And he had also slightly different names in different countries because he traveled all around Europe and had several citizenships. And our PhD school is named after this Nobel laureate, György Hevesy. And we received the permission of the family to rename our PhD school to Hevesy György PhD School of Chemistry. And we were very pleased when 4 years ago they gave their permission for this name change of our PhD school. So this PhD school has its history, but this history is much shorter than the history of the Institute of Chemistry. The PhD school was established in 1993, and as you may know, there were changes in Hungary, political changes in 1989, and it took a couple of years to establish a PhD school. This is just a different type of doctoral degree than one we had before. So we have almost 30 years of history. And if you would like to learn more about anything, basically, about the Hevesy György PhD School, then you should go to this website. It's really easy to remember. If you remember that you would like to do PhD in chemistry at ELTE, then phd.chem.elte.hu is the web address of our PhD school, and it is solely in English. As Professor Szalai explained, the MSc level education is both in Hungarian and in English. The PhD level education is strictly in English, and most of the thesis work are also done in English. Now, this is a rather large PhD school. We have about 116 doctoral students now in our PhD school. So actually, this is in number, this is larger than the number of MSc students we have in our institute. And the reason is that this is a 4-year PhD program. And the Professor Szalai talked about the research groups of our institute, and of course the PhD school, though it is independent from the institute, it builds on the resources of the Institute of Chemistry. But we are also building on resources of research laboratories outside of our university, like the research laboratories of the Hungarian Academy of Sciences. And most of the active research members of the Institute of Chemistry have international collaborations. So we also have some international colleagues, mostly from within the EU. And we have also industrial collaborations. This is mostly in the pharmaceutical industry. And the main reason is that that's extremely strong in Hungary. So there are several large pharmaceutical companies. But in physical chemistry, electrochemistry, and some other areas, we also have collaborating partners from the industry. So it is possible to do a PhD. Partly, I mean, you have to be in our PhD school, but your supervisor can be, maybe one of the supervisors can be from the industry, and the other would be an internal one. When we started in 1993, the symbiosis of the Institute of Chemistry and the PhD school was a lot stronger. So we started mostly with our own students. Now it's about 25% of the doctoral candidates in the school who are from abroad, arriving via different schemes. Oops. I would like to share with you a few simple facts about the school. Now, Professor Szalai emphasized that research is an integral part of the MSc education at our university, and research is the main area of studies in the PhD school. So our doctoral candidates must acquire, through their academic degree training, skills necessary in research, development, innovation, and higher level education. This is to emphasize that we are not only training in our PhD school people for basic research, say in academia, but the research can be done in any environment, any industrial environment, research institution, and research and development and innovation is also part of the training. As I also said, this is a 4-year program, so the length of the training is for 8 semesters. The semester is half a year in Hungary, so it's really what it means. And then it was also discussed that people can enter our MSc program and also our PhD program via state-sponsored fellowships, or it can be tuition fee based, and the tuition fees you could see on a previous slide. Now, the entrance requirement is that you have to have an MSc degree, and it is a simple thing if you have an MSc degree in chemistry. However, research is truly interdisciplinary. So we do accept MSc degrees not only in chemistry, but in chemical engineering, chemical physics, in biology, molecular biology, and we do accept many different MSc degrees. So it's not a problem if you have an MSc degree outside of the field of chemistry. But then you will need to take perhaps an exam in chemistry, so then you have 2 years to study chemistry more if that's not your background. But if it is your background, you have to take some courses, but those would be specialized courses in the area of your research. You have to go through an entrance exam, and this will determine whether you would be able to enter our PhD school or not. So the 4 years of your PhD studies is separated into 2 phases, phase 1 and phase 2. And phase 1 is the first 4 semesters, and as usual, you would need to acquire 120 ECTS credits, and that is finished with a complex exam, and this complex exam is basically in the field of chemistry you are working in. And in phase 2, that's again 4 semesters, you have to acquire the same number of credits, and then you don't need to take exams anymore. So the last exam is this complex exam, but you need to submit your thesis. If you cannot finish your PhD studies in 4 years, then you have an extra year to submit your thesis. And then I give you here some information about the modules of the CSTS credits. The only important information is that there are some training credits. So this is education in the classical sense type credits. You do also get research credits both in phase 1 and phase 2. In phase 2, you only get credits for the research you do, and then in the first phase, you can also do some teaching and acquire some credits for the teaching. And the PhD education happens in 3 training programs. Let's call it in a very simple way as analytical chemistry, theoretical chemistry, and synthetic chemistry. And you enter the PhD school, you enter one of these programs, and then you take your complex exam in one of these programs. But basically, we cover the whole field of chemistry, and also we have interdisciplinary researchers and courses. And so these 3 programs cover the whole of chemistry and fields like physics and math and computer science and biology. So we emphasize that in our Institute of Chemistry and also in the Hevesy György PhD School of Chemistry, we put a lot of emphasis on research. Now, the end of the research, and I would say that part of the research experience is to publish. So publication and publishing your results is not independent from the research. It is an integral part of your research efforts. And we are very proud that many of our students can publish in the leading journals of chemistry. And in some of these cases, their research even appears on the front cover of these journals. So here are a couple of examples I'm showing to you about the research results from the last 5 years of the PhD school. So there was one research, and now I'm emphasizing that all these front covers were results of research done by PhD students. So not by the supervisors, but by the PhD students. They were selected exclusively based on that criterion. So the Journal of the American Chemical Society, and then another journal from the American Chemical Society, the Journal of Physical Chemistry, advertised research results in our school. And then there are European journals like this Chem Biochem. It's a leading European journal in the field of biochemistry and chemical biology, where we had 2 publications on the front cover. And another leading chemistry journal is the Chemistry European Journal. That's the journal of the European Chemical Societies. And there is also the Royal Society with the PCCP, which is Physical Chemistry, Chemical Physics journals, where we were also on the front page. Another front page article from PCCP, and another Royal Society journal, Chemical Communication, which advertised the research done in our PhD school on the cover. So this is the end of my planned presentation. Thank you for listening, and now I would be happy to answer questions about the PhD school or any questions about research.
All right, we have a question. Do international doctoral students need to stay in Budapest for 4 years, or is it possible to do the PhD from home?
I guess this is a very relevant question these days. So the hope is that next year you don't need to stay home, but you can do research in Budapest and at your home in Budapest. But there are areas of research which you can, of course, do even if you don't move to Budapest. I know that at many other PhD schools around the world, this has become a custom. There are a couple of problems during the first phase, so the first 2 years of your PhD studies, because then you have to take courses. Now it was possible that you could take these courses online, and then it's not a problem. During phase 2, if you are not doing lab work, of course you can work from home. So the second 2 years is a lot easier to do from your home country. So it is not forbidden, but I think it's also part of the experience to experience a different country, different culture, work together, drink together even with some of the Hungarian students and supervisors and so on. So yes, it's not a problem if you are at home for part of your studies for the first 2 years. But I would say it's highly advisable that you do come here and enjoy life here in Hungary.
All right, next question is, are there any postdoc positions available after PhD?
Yes, so as Professor Szalai also emphasized, if you would like to do research, not in academia alone, but in any companies in the industry and so on, it's highly advisable to have a PhD. Now, after having your PhD, of course, there are again several possibilities, and one of them would be to find a postdoctoral position. I would say that this is extremely good to do if you decide to go to academia. I would say this is even a requirement. In the West, it is definitely a requirement. At our university, it is also a requirement to do at least 1 year, but preferably 2 or even slightly more as a postdoc in position. So your PhD degree is a full PhD degree, and you can go to anywhere in the world. So Eötvös University is well known for the high quality of science done at our university. So you can find positions at the best universities. I know from my own students that they went to Cambridge University in the UK, to ETH in Zurich. Many of our professors did postdoctoral work at the leading Ivy League universities of the US. I mean, I myself did postdoctoral work at Stanford University and mentioned Cambridge University in the UK, and so on. So the world is open, and there are postdoctoral positions. Now, if the question was whether there are postdoctoral positions inside Hungary, then the answer is yes, there are postdoctoral positions in Hungary. It is best not to do a postdoctoral work at the same place. So I would advertise Eötvös University in every other sense, but it's much better to, after you get your PhD from our PhD school, to go to another place and do find some more research experience at another place.
Okay, there are no more questions. So I would like to
Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to ask Maria to continue with her presentation.
Yeah. So, hi, my name is Maria. I'm a second-year PhD student at the Doctoral School of Chemistry at ELTE, and I started to work at the Laboratory of Nuclear Chemistry 2 years ago by the support of Stipendium Hungaricum program. My topic is studying plants and bacteria metabolism by the means of nuclear methods. And after receiving my master diploma, there was no question about where to apply, because I knew my supervisors in advance. I met them at the conference. Yes, so I think that coming to Hungary was a great decision, because it is a big step in my scientific career. So besides, I hope that I will get my degree in 2 years. It was also a great chance to work with very nice equipment and to have very good publications. I also had a chance to have some collaborations here in Hungary, for example, with the Wigner Research Center for Physics and the Energy Research Center. I also had an experiment with at the European Synchrotron at France, but unfortunately, due to the situation in the world, I couldn't go there. So the experiment was online. Yes. So far, as a result of the 2 years work, we managed to have 2 publications, one in collaboration with our Brazilian colleague and one in collaboration with the Wigner Research Center and the University of Darmstadt. I just also wanted to mention that when you come to Hungary, you will be not left alone. As soon as you enter the ELTE, you will be given 2 mentors, one Hungarian student and one foreign student who is probably the part of the program you applied to, and they will help you a lot with administration, bank account, some education, maybe difficulties, what courses to choose, and so on and so forth. And in general, the international community in Budapest is very big. There are a lot of foreign students at ELTE. There are a lot of foreign visiting professors, and the whole atmosphere is very nice. Yes, a lot of social programs is organized by ELTE, by the labs, and by the Stipendium Hungaricum Foundation. So it's kind of fun. But I think it's nice that if you come to Hungary, maybe you would like to learn also Hungarian language. And ELTE Hungarian language courses are far the best in Budapest. There is also the opportunity to apply for the summer school of Hungarian languages culture, and it is also very nice. Unfortunately, last year it was cancelled due to coronavirus, but hopefully this year everything will be fine. And last but not the least is that Hungary is a very beautiful country, and in your free time you're totally encouraged to explore. You can take just the bus or the train and go wherever you want. So hopefully you will come and see it yourself. I will be happy to answer any questions if there are some.
I don't think we have any questions from the chat right now, but we can wait for a bit if there is any, and we will answer them. In the meantime, I would like to ask you, Maria, how did you prepare for relocating to Budapest?
Sorry, for living in Budapest?
Yes, to move to Budapest. How did you prepare for that in advance when you were admitted to the program?
So, as I mentioned, I got a mentor. He was also a PhD student of the Doctoral School of Chemistry, and he helped me a lot because he was already here. So he helped me with the administration, with the Hungarian phone number, bank account, and so on. So I would say that everything was quite smooth, luckily.
Yeah. Good to hear that. Okay, thank you. And did you have any difficulties or any tips and tricks you would like to share with anybody who is applying right now or who is planning on joining us in the future?
Just maybe do everything in time or just in advance, because doing everything in the last minute sometimes is not the greatest idea.
Yes, that is really great advice. That's very sound. Thank you. I don't have any more questions myself, and I'm not sure if the professors would like to add something.
So I'm glad we received questions during our presentations. So I don't have any further, but there is one, I believe.
Yes. What is the minimum requirement for the PhD in chemistry? What does the GPA matter?
I'm not sure whether I understand the question correctly. So does it concern the minimum requirement for getting admitted to the PhD school? During the PhD studies, as I mentioned, there are these there are these credits which one needs to obtain for education and research, and we also require that the research done is published in international journals. So the minimum requirement for that is 2 papers, and one of the papers should have as first author the doctoral candidate. But there are no other formal requirements besides submitting the thesis, and then the whole procedure will happen as usual at every place, that it will be read by external investigators and so on.
All right, thank you. Oh, and this is an applicant from India, and is very much enthusiastic to join ELTE this September, and already qualified the entrance examination and got an accepted offer. We are very glad to hear that, and we are looking forward to meeting you in September as well. Is there any other ways to apply for any other scholarship besides the ones already mentioned for the doctoral degree, like a irányított oktatás, where the student helps giving classes on the BSc and MSc, and in return you win a scholarship for that?
So I guess this question is addressed mostly to me. I would think so, because it's a PhD degree. So we do have fellowships. We don't have an extensive list of fellowships, so it's not that simple to apply. If the question is that if someone is already at our university, let's say getting the MSc degree, then it is still a problem to find a scholarship, so to say. But it is not a problem to that some of our supervisors who have grants, then they can provide grant support to people. And so if they have money, which would be, say, equivalent to a state scholarship or so, then it is very straightforward to have the application to the PhD school, because there we need to get to the PhD school, we require that the applicant has a supervisor listed, and then it should be the research program should be approved by this supervisor. And so if the supervisor finds the money out of external sources, then it's absolutely not a problem. And I do know that many supervisors in our Hevesy György PhD school, they do look for good candidates for PhD studies, and they do have the support to give to these candidates.
Yes, thank you for your answer. Would you please tell me more about the Erasmus program during masters?
Okay, I think first, the Erasmus program means that we have already a large number of settled connections with European universities. So there is a list of universities where you can go, because there are already a signed agreement between the universities. So that's the easy part. So you have to choose a university, and then you have to connect it. You have to work on by yourself a little bit. But if you ready to do these steps, then you select the university, you find the connection, and of course we have some help in this. You can go there and you can take some courses, and you can bring back your credits for home. And this is one possibility. You can spend even a whole semester there, or, which is more advisable, I think, or more, you can go for summer internship also with the Erasmus, and then you can do your, let's say, industrial placement or so in abroad, I mean out of Hungary, and that's also a very good possibility. The important thing that our system is quite flexible, so we can if you even leave for a semester, a whole semester, then you can finish within the normal schedule, normal time, so that will be not it will not cause some delay in getting your diploma. Okay.
And I would also add, I hope my information is correct, that there is also the Erasmus Plus program, and there you can go sort of like in the Erasmus program, but if there is no established relation between a foreign university or research institution and our place, you can still go with this Erasmus Plus program. So there are plenty of opportunities, and if you apply, there is a high chance that you would be given this fellowship.
I would also add, in general, our university is open to make new connections. Just in this year, one of our master students decided to go to study in Moscow. She selected a university which we had no relationship before, and it's already signed, and she will go. So that's if you have some question, if you have some plan, if you have a target university where you want to study, spend a little bit of time, then we can help you. That's no problem.
Okay, thank you very much for answering the question. And I don't think we have any more questions. So I think that we can finish up our webinar. And thank you everybody for your participation. for the presenters and for the viewers as well. And we are looking forward to receiving your applications by the 31st of May, and also looking forward to seeing you here at ELTE in September. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you, goodbye.
Thank you, goodbye.